Good evening, Rahul. Thanks very much for having me. There are two issues here, and please allow me to deliberate on both. One is of science, and the other is of politics. And as you know, if we mix science with politics, we end up with political science. The issue of science is the following, which is that one of the founding pillars for the totally discredited Aryan invasion theory is that the river Saraswati only existed as a monsoon-fed river. So that, it's mentioned in the Rig Veda that it says that it was a mighty river, is not acceptable. Now, the point is, last November 2019, there was a major paper published in Nature Scientific Reports that discredited that and said that Saraswati was a glacial-fed river and existed between 9,000 to 4,500 years ago. And in fact, one of the cornerstones of Harappan civilization. So these people don't know science. They might know Scientology, but not science. Now let me come to the other important issue. Even if this wasn't true, it is totally unacceptable and a blatant violation of freedom of expression. General Bakshi is as decorated a gentleman as they come. A war veteran, a speaker, an author of many books on military warfare. On what basis has he been prevented from delivering a lecture in webinar? The same JNU, Rahul, cheered and thumped tables when the murderous dictator and self-confessed Maoist Hugo Chavez came visiting. I don't know whether you remember that or not. Not a dry ice in the house for the tyrant then. It routinely lends an ear to those who call the killing of terrorists as judicial killings, who give space to people who mock and abuse the Supreme Court for ordering a terrorist to the gallows. For these protesters, right to protest is actually right to prevent. And then they call General Bakshi fascist. As their mentor Goebbels said, first rule of propaganda is that you accuse others of what you are guilty of. A place of learning where only one kind of view is welcome is not a university but a conformity. Now one may disagree with the views of General Bakshi. General Bakshi may not expound the views of science on Saraswati, but I don't care. Preventing him only means that you are a fascist. And who do you want in his place? Speakers who eulogize Karl Marx, who was the first one to propound the two-nation theory in his 1853 book, The Eastern Question? Or do you want people who eulogize Mao, who killed 63 million of his own people? Or Che Guevara, who ran concentration camps for gays and executed political prisoners at will? Or Stalin, who ran gulags and killed millions? Or closer to home, the CPI founder Dange, who wrote 2 groveling mercy petitions to the British to let him out of jail? Or EMS Namboodiripad, who said, and I quote, "We will wreck Ambedkar's constitution from within." So who are your heroes? I think, Rahul, finally the time has come that JNU should set up multiple NDA schools and centers and hostels inside the campus to accommodate at least 1,000 military students every year. Let them be taught here. Let other students learn from these young Jawans. Believe me, within a year, forget politics and hooliganism and fascism. The delinquents will be singing Manoj Kumar songs instead of Afzal Sharminda and Azadi Azad.